Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Town Pump. Right down the road. Pump it up. Oh, yeah.
Victory number 1 here in 2023. We're keeping that home undefeated streak intact. You've got to be happy with not only your offense, but the turnovers you got from your defense.
Yeah, I think for first game, pretty complimentary effort. I think the offense was able to stay on the field ahead of the chains for the most part. I think we only punted one time. Defense was able to get them out of the field, get some key turnovers, and ultimately, I think it wasn't perfect by any means, but I thought we played a pretty clean game. Guys played really hard. A lot of guys played today, and you want to set a good standard. And like I said, it wasn't perfect by any means, but I thought tonight we set a pretty good standard.
Scottre and Julius, 2 guys you brought in this offseason. What do you think of their performance today?
Well, it's evident that they can both go, and I think they're both powerful guys. Now, did they see everything perfectly? I think we'll look at the film. There's maybe some of those things, but they got a chance to break some things wide open. They're hard to tackle. I think those two, will complement each other. We'll have to see, exactly where things are at with Lane. It was a pretty quick exit for him, unfortunately. And then, beyond that, Jared White catching the ball. I mean, he made some explosive plays tonight. Elijah got his opportunity, did real well. So, really pleased with that group.
Were you the primary play caller today?
Yeah, Weston. Yes.
What was that like being back on the play caller?
Well, I'll say this. Our guys were really well prepared, and that would include our whole offensive staff. I think we had a very deliberate plan all through camp to figure out what we do well, and get to the game planning portion for Utah Tech, and then really run with that and try to keep it as simple as possible. So, a game like today, it's about the players. Players executed. They knew what they needed to do, and made plays. So, it was players.
So, Lane was an injury then early on.
Yeah, and I don't know severity. It was on maybe the third play, something like that. So yeah.
Can you comment any more on the other absences today, including Housewright and Lemiata?
For Coach Housewright, obviously part of the repercussions. I'll leave it at that. With Junior Alexander, he's not the only one across the NCAA that's caught up in a second transfer. We're still working towards a waiver. There's certainly been some high-profile situations, I think, across the country, and he's one of those. We haven't had a waiver denied yet, so that's still very much a work in progress.
And then, with the good rushing game, the offensive line seemed like they were pretty strong today. What did you just kind of think overall from that?
Yeah, I think we have a good group. And I think Utah Tech's got some good players too, and they did some things, and we had some negative plays here and there. But it seemed like anytime we had a negative play, we were able to make a play. Because it wasn't just this methodical thing, and we were back and forth a little bit. Obviously, not scoring that first drive when we were down there was disappointing, very disappointing. We got to be able to cash in there, but yeah, I'm certain our offensive line did some really good things today, with some guys in some different spots, and anxious to look at the tape and continue to find ways to get better. I thought we communicated well. And having Coach Johnson, I think he's done a really good job coming in and laying down his thoughts, his philosophy, and those guys have really worked well with him. And we're offensively, that's where it starts for us. I don't think there's any secret about that, and I think that group played well, and I need to keep playing well.
What did you think of the response after you got stopped on the goal line? Because then you guys kind of opened it up after that.
Yeah. We turned them over on defense. Anytime you go for it down there, at least you're providing a long field for them to have to come back. Got a good field position and scored pretty quickly. And we talk about it all the time. Any flow of the game is not going to go exactly how you want it. How do you respond? good play next play, bad play next play, disappointing end to that drive. Okay, we got to regroup and go get it the next drive. So, I think our guys, that whole philosophy fits in with what we've been working on all year. How do we respond? What do we control? Appreciate the guys, not letting that bring us down.
The quarterback progress, I mean, Tommy made a couple throws that seemed like added to the repertoire, especially the throws up the seam to the middle of the field. So what'd you think of his progress? How'd you evaluate the quarterback?
Yeah, he missed a few, but made some plays. He made the plays that he typically will with his feet. The scramble play, the throw to Jared, it was a good play by Jared, but a heck of a play by Tommy. I think definitely things to build on. Obviously didn't throw a ton with him. He has 14 attempts. How many scrambles are mixed in there? That's probably another 4, 5, 6. So there's 20 call plays for him. So I think definite progress. If I'm correct, we didn't take any sacks there. There's a 0 there. That's a big part of what we need to be able to do in the pass game. I think he's processing things well and throwing the ball well too.
I guess sharing snaps between Tommy and Sean, is that about what you guys had planned for tonight, or is the game flow kind of like that?
It was going to be pretty field position specific. No 2 quarterback plays tonight. Sean was going to go out there. We got inside, tight inside the 10. So that worked out. It was good. We got Sean a couple series. It was good to see Jordan Reed get a couple series as well. I think we obviously feel good about that quarterback room, and we'll continue to utilize Sean. But from a first game perspective, that was about how we plan to do it.
And then Caden and Lavelle rotating a nickel. Caden gets that interception. What do you think of that?
Yeah. I think we got a good tandem there, and they both bring different things to the table. It looks like Lavelle led us some tackles. Caden gets the interception. And we lost a really good player there in Ty. But I think we have 2 really good players that will, play to their strengths, and those guys are, I think, completely bought into the plan.
Looking ahead now to one of the biggest games of the season, and next week, how do you guys switch gears?
Enjoy the win tonight. Get in the training room tomorrow. Start our plan for South Dakota State. Obviously we got the recent history of the game. We each have a game under our belt this week. So you go back and to some degree you dust off what you really liked in that game in December. You look at that game and the things that didn't play out so well. But I think our guys are going to be ready to play. But it's Sunday tomorrow. It's not Saturday, so we gotta go through the week and really get a good plan put together and get on a plane on Friday and go there with an intent to put our best foot forward, period, I guess, and that's there's a process that goes into that.
I know a big stop after the 62-yard gain on that pass play. You guys were able to hold the field goal there.
Yeah, I think we responded. That's kind of the thing. Like I said, bad play in the next play, dig in and make some plays, and that's a team that threw for over 300 yards a game last year, so they're gonna hit some. Obviously, we got to correct what went wrong on the play that hit behind us, but I do feel like our guys don't panic, and that's they believe in one another. You don't panic. You move on, and you got a chance, and that's a small little example of I think how we want our guys to approach things.
Hard to analyze until you watch the film, but just operationally, how do you think you guys did just getting in and out of things?
Yeah, I thought it was relatively clean. We had the one delay game out of the, and they're trying to speed up the game. Every little second must mean a lot to whatever, I don't know. But they got caught too. We both got delayed games out of a kickoff. I think when we got some of the younger guys in there, we had a few things that they can work through. But I think for our 1s and our 2s, I think that part, that's what you look at. Turnovers, penalties, timeouts you have to take for no good reason. I think we were pretty minimal in that regard.
Derek returned punts. I guess what was kind of the main decision to have him
Well, you know, that's a spot that's been beat up a little bit. Obviously, Taco. You know, Ty McCullough was really the next guy up. You know, Jacob Trimble, true freshman, is a guy that I think ultimately could land himself in there. But Derek's really capable. You know, it's not like that's some novelty to throw him back there. I think there's a lot of trust in what he can do, his ability to field the ball. So yeah, whether he's back there again, I think both Ty and Jacob. I mean, they're kind of in short term mode. Jacob suited up today, but didn't get in. We'll see where Ty's at as we go through this next week. Taco is more long term. We'll look to get him back at some point too.
The defensive line will be a point of emphasis going into this week, obviously, because what happened last year. So, what did you think of overall their performance there?
Yeah, I think they answered the bell today. Obviously, the stakes will get raised next week. The operation that we're going against is one of the best, if not the best right now going in the country, obviously. So it'll be a great test. I think our guys have worked really hard over the last almost 9 months. And a lot of it was pointed at the performance in Brookings back in December. So it's certainly not all about them. Either side of the ball, we're gonna have to make the plays in the back end and the perimeter on offense. But I do feel like that was a good step for that group today.
Okay, thanks, Coach. All right, for Caden.
So, Caden, I guess just first game of the season, Gold Rush had a field down there.
It was awesome. I mean, the crowd brings the energy, and you just kind of feed off of it. And I feel like we came out really fast, and that helped. So it was awesome. Loved it.
What'd you see on that interception?
We knew if the 2 and the 3 were tight in there, that they were probably coming out running flood. So I just sunk and it was right there.
What was it like preparing for that offense? Because they threw for a bunch of yards last year. How'd you think you guys did in prep, and how'd you guys do execution-wise?
Yeah, so they did. They threw a lot, and we just had to prepare for them taking shots, and then their key like stick routes and stuff like that. So we had a really good game plan. We did have like a week and a couple days to game plan for them. So it was a long week. It was like probably 8 days or something like that. So. Yeah, it was good.
Communication on the back end. How'd you think you guys did in the secondary?
Decent. There were a couple miscues. Not getting the call, stuff like that. I messed up a couple times. I know with that, so yeah, gotta tighten that up.
Does that come from the chunk plays that was more so miscues, or is it scheme, or what exactly was the bigger plays that they got?
It was just the bigger plays.
Yeah.
Just not executing, not making tackles. Yeah.
You mean like not getting calls, like not getting it in, or just?
No, we were getting it in, just not communicating it across.
Gotcha. The first career interception at Montana State?
Yeah.
So, I mean, how special is that? And it looked like, you had a lane to maybe get were you thinking end zone on that?
Yeah, obviously you want to score, but it was cool. It was a cool opportunity, and to do it in my first game playing nickel was really cool.
And how was that? How was that kind of balance in playing, it's 2 nickel system kind of, and rotating in and out with Lavelle so much? How did that go your first experience?
Yeah, it worked good, and so we like alternated every series or whatever, and yeah, it went good. It seemed to work, and we both played pretty decent. So
how important do you think that's going to be for your defense? You guys have rotated a ton of D linemen, cornerbacks, and basically almost every position rotates a lot. So how important do you think that'll be kind of later down the road?
Yeah, building depth is huge, and the more guys you can get on the field, that just helps the whole defense. You can save your legs, you can catch your breath on the sideline. So I think that's huge, and that we could have 2 guys play that position. It's awesome.
Do you think you had a second one there?
I did. It was in my hands for a second, and then I hit the ground and dropped it. So.
What did you think of his performance in his first game and those other running backs?
Freak. Like I said a couple weeks ago, he's a freak, and he's a really good runner, and when he gets in the open space, he's scoring most of the time. So yeah, it's awesome.
After that INT, I think you met Taco on the sideline, and he came and met you, and you almost knocked him into next Tuesday. Need another surgery, or?
No, yeah, that was awesome. He's always the first to congratulate me, and vice versa. I mean, best friends on and off the field. So that was a really cool moment, and he probably gave me 6 high fives in the next offensive drive, just walking by me and giving me high fives, so it was cool. Yeah.
Fire away for David.
So I guess David, on that interception, take us through that play. What did you see there with Kenny?
Honestly, I just saw the ball in the air, and it was just a natural reaction. I didn't really know it was Kenny. Guys were telling me I kind of ripped it out of his hands, but you know, we say tips and overthrows, we gotta have them. It's kind of a mantra we have, so it was just reading my key and getting to it.
What did you think of all the pressure you guys got? Brody, Kenny, kind of all you guys in the back of the thing?
You know, I think we played well as a front. You know, I mean, for us, we always strive for perfection, but we know we're not going to get there. And so we always feel like we can shave inches off of things. So we'll look at the film, and you know, it's never as good or never as bad, but we'll see what was there and see what we can fix and adjust.
Was that your first career interception?
In college, yeah.
In college, okay. So yeah, I mean, how special was
that? Was awesome. Especially my first game back, to make a play like that early in the game, it just felt it was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, you dealt with a lot of injuries last year, so I mean, how are you feeling now, and just how excited are you to be more healthy?
I'm just so happy to be playing football again. You know, it was a long grind coming back from my knee injury and put in a lot of work, and it just felt really special to be back out there.
Yeah, I think you've been through 1 or 2 Gold Rush games before, but how would you explain that the environment, especially?
This was definitely the most energy I've ever felt from the crowd compared to 21 and 22. This was, and personally for me, it was special because I was coming back from injury and it's my senior season. But just the energy in the crowd and the sheer numbers it was awesome to see Bobcat Nation come out like that.
I think this season in specific has a different feel as well. We got that a lot through fall camp. These guys were saying, you know, this season feels different.
I think we have a lot of guys that have, you know, had a lot of reps on the field, and we've been through a lot these past 2 years, and now we kind of have an expectation. And we don't like to be arrogant, but we like to be confident in the work we've put in. And you know, we have high expectations, but we feel like we have the guys to do it. So,
how much does the experience kind of lead to that confidence overall as a team?
I think it's a huge factor. You know, going through all the stuff we've gone through. You know, we try not to do too much of this, and when you have guys that have been there and done that, you can, you know, weather the storm really well as a team.
How does it feel to go into pass coverage in this defense?
It's definitely different. It's a little bit of a throwback to my linebacker days, but it's a nice little wrinkle we have, and you know, the more looks we can give these quarterbacks and other coaches, you know, the more multiple we can be, the better it is for us as a defense.
And how motivated are you and the entire D line for next week?
You know, we're definitely motivated. We try to stick to the process. Like, we understand the gravity of the game and the quality of the team we're playing. But, you know, if you get too high or you get too low, no matter what, you're not going to perform to your best. So we'll come back on Monday and we'll approach it the same way we approach everything, and we'll be ready to go.
Just a few minutes, small business owners can now sign up for Blackfoot Communication Services. Whether it's dependable voice options or internet services, sign up simply by visiting blackfootsmallbusiness.com. Click on the services you wish, select an installation time and date, and you're done. Small business services at the touch of your fingers. Connect to more with Blackfoot Communications and blackfootsmallbusiness.com.
How would you explain your emotions having 3 touchdowns in your first game and being Gold Rush?
Oh, man, I was highly excited, man. It's a pleasure, you know. Offensive line, man, blocks so good, man. I just ran through the holes, man. I got lucky, you know. I would put in my hard work, but I got to give all credit to my offensive line, man. They blocked perfectly. The holes was there. I just ran through them.
Your third touchdown, you rolled into the end zone and then got to sort of let the student section see it. I mean, pretty cool moment for you. What's going through your head at that time?
I was like, man, I just got another touchdown, man. It's pretty crazy, but man, I was trying to get the crowd hype, man. Trying to get everybody involved. You know, it's a big moment. Gold Rush. I love the game, man.
The first run you had early, you didn't quite score, but you walked in the end zone afterwards and kind of, you know, basically said feed me. But was there something you felt or you saw that you just wanted to touch the ball more?
I mean, no, I think we have a good rotation at running back room. I feel like we all run the ball good, so I feel like anybody could be number 1. Yeah, it was a good celebration. One of the running backs back home did it, so I just kind of took it from him.
This kind of goes off his question, but you threw up a peace sign too in the second one. I guess you're just going through all your celebrations. But I guess where do you get that edge from, that chip on your shoulder?
I don't know. It's part from my dad, man. He's a hard worker, so I mean, when we do good, try to celebrate, try to get happy. So it's a great moment, you know. Hard work, you know. See my hard work paid in the office. It's great.
Jared and Julius also had big games tonight. What'd you see? You guys in the rotation. What'd you see from some of your teammates in Bethel?
Oh man, those guys are dogs, man. I mean, all the running backs are dogs. Any one of us can even give a night go off. I just happened to be me this night, man. But any one of us can go off, man. We're all really good players. That's what we're here.
Yeah, you mentioned that offensive line, and obviously a great year last year. But what was it like just to, I guess, kind of see Red Sea parted like that up front?
It's great, man. Like honestly, I mean, the holes was there. Like, I just tried to run through it, man. It was beautiful. I got all credit to my offensive line. I love those guys up front. They do what they do. They work hard, so it showed up today. So.
How competitive were those running back battles during, or drills during fall camp with so many guys who can obviously start this season?
Well, it's for sure competitive. But I mean, not selfish. You know, everybody loves each other, man. So it was competitive, but we didn't keep it only on the field. You know, we always try to support each other.
Did you, when you signed with MSU, did you expect to be doing this quickly?
It's a good question. I mean, I expected to help the team out any way I could. So I guess somewhat, yeah. I guess I did expect it, but I mean, not like this. Pretty big, but it was nice. Yeah, it was pretty nice.
And you're, obviously wearing number 22. You're from the Seattle area. Is that do you wear that number in part because of Isaiah Fonse, or is that just a coincidence?
Pretty much coincidence, but I mean, I like number 22. Number 9 was my number in high school, but I mean, it was taken. So number 22 is just a great number. A lot of running backs wear it, so why not wear it?
What are you hoping to take from this performance tonight into one of the most anticipated games of the season so early next week?
I'm just gonna get some good sleep tonight, eat some good food, shower, sleep, wake up tomorrow, focus on the next opponent in front of us.
What was just the energy in that stadium? We had Gold Rush, all those fans in there.
Yeah, something I never experienced in my life right there. It was beautiful, man. The fans came out, supported us, man. It's pretty ecstatic. It was fun. It was really fun. True, man.
Do you think all the running backs and guys on your team are always kind of stay hungry and motivated because they know there's a chance they'll get in? There's a heavy rotation kind of with a lot of positions.
Yeah, for sure. Any moment you can get your number called in our running back room. So yeah, everybody's good. So we're gonna use everybody. Keep splits off each other.
Does the running back room got a motto or anything, you guys?
We do Juice Squad because we bring the juice 9 times out of 10. We try to bring the juice to the team, so we Juice Squad.
When Julius kind of had that run where he shoved the guy off him going into the end zone, did you? I guess what was your vantage point of that run?
It was amazing. I was juiced up, man. He juices up the team like every one of the running backs do. They juice up the team. It's a great run. I was excited for my man. He's a great guy. I love that guy.
Oh, good.
In just a few minutes, small business owners can now sign up for Blackfoot Communication Services. Whether it's dependable voice options or internet services, sign up simply by visiting blackfootsmallbusiness.com. Click on the services you wish, select an installation time and date, and you're done. Small business services at the touch of your fingers. Connect to more with Blackfoot Communications and blackfootsmallbusiness.com.